Hi everyone, we are excited to be with you today to tell you a little bit about a framework that we developed over the last year to really think about going a little bit deeper into what does the role of a service learning teaching assistant really look like, and particularly in relation to your faculty member that you'll be working with throughout the semester. So one of the reasons that we decided to put together a framework is really because one of the things that S-LTAs have asked currently and over time is really, what does it look like to work with my faculty member? What should my role be? And vice versa, a lot of times we have faculty members who will be working with an S-LTA one semester and then they'll work with someone else the next semester and they will be like, wow, this was a really different experience. And so I'm really interested to know, what should the S-LTA be doing? What could they be doing? And how can I be best working with them? And so we actually engaged with all of our S-LTAs last year to ask them some questions around what their work traditionally looked like and actually use that information to come up with the framework that we're going to be talking with you about.
So yes, this is it right here. We're really excited to display it. And so this triple Venn diagram that groups together some, three primary areas where S-LTAs tend to focus the majority of their role. I will say that, not one person is never purely one, subgroup of S-LTAs or anything like that, and it really is some sort of mix. And so I put that out there because, one, no one's necessarily the same, but that also might move over the course of the semester as you really evolve and grow into your role.
So in thinking about what these types are, one of the first types is really someone whose main role is around service integration. And so, as you know, and will be reiterated throughout your time as an S-LTA, the hyphen piece of service learning and making sure that the service, whether it's project-based, direct service, whatever the students are engaging in, is really integrated with what they're learning in the course. And so many faculty members will kind of lean on their S-LTAs to really help with this service integration piece. And so some of the tasks that an S-LTA might be doing around service integration is really, leading reflection, that's connecting the course content and the service, thinking about how can students connect what they're thinking about and really kind of do that through the service or the things that they're doing in the community. This type of S-LTA might be facilitating small or large group activities, and then usually in a class where the main role of the S-LTA is around service integration, their knowledge of the course discipline or topic is not necessary per se. So if you find yourself being an S-LTA that you're, the TA for a course that you've never taken before, or maybe something that you're like, that's not my major and I really don't have any background in this, likely your main role is to integrate the service, and the faculty member really was looking for someone who was going to be able to partner with them in doing so.
The second subtype is what we're calling a field or discipline consultant. And so this type of TA or subtype really helps provide that course content specific course content specific support. It might in some cases double as a content TA. So think, maybe they've taken the course before or maybe even have TA'd for it. And in some ways are a subject matter expert alongside the faculty members, or emerging expert, if you will. And a lot of times the person in this role will lead a content-based class discussion or activities, sometimes co-lecture alongside the faculty member, and really does dive deeper into what the content of the course is, unlike maybe some of the other TAs that haven't taken that course or just don't have that type of background.
And a final type of S-LTA is really a person who's going to be in a project management role. And so I would say all S-LTAs to some extent are serving as a project manager for the service learning components of the course. But really their main role is kind of thinking about how can they really model the way that partnership should be happening and work with their students, their faculty members, and their partners to make sure the project objectives are coming to fruition. And so, this might be something where the students are working on a short-term project or a long-term project. really kind of managing the background logistics of projects. So that can have a lot of different components to it. It could also mean, perhaps collating questions that the students have, communicating that to partners so that partners are able to, streamline communication, streamline their time in communicating with students, and then making sure that they're managing the student process to ensure the quality of the final deliverable. So, most of our partners are aware that, if students are working on a project in a class, then, just like any project, some may be amazing, some may be good, and the product will vary, but really the role of the S-LTA in this case is to make sure that the products are really as good as they can be, given the groups of students that are working on them, and making sure, if nothing else, that at least the community partner is having their goals met, or at least working toward their goals through the work that the students have engaged with them on throughout the semester.
So now that we've introduced the 3 subtypes, if you will, within the framework, I bet you're wondering, where does that leave you? Or wondering, where am I in this kind of puzzle? And so that's a really great question, and those are the types of questions that you should be thinking about as you're entering the semester, whether it's your first time as a service learning teaching assistant or you've been doing this for multiple years at this point. So some of the factors that you should keep in mind that are really going to impact your position with the within the framework. First being the goals of the course and the community partners, right? So they vary. If we have 50 classes, there's 50 different iterations of what that's going to look like. It also depends on how service is structured, really to meet the goals of the course and the partners. Again, might look 50 different ways. No 2 are quite the same. And so that's going to factor in what it looks like for you. Additionally, the faculty member's vision of working with an S-LTA can be really different from course to course. Not all faculty members that teach service learning classes have S-LTAs. It's a choice that they have. And some really see that opportunity as a creative thought partner, or they really are leaning on someone to be really thoughtful around the logistics and managing the projects, partners, grading. It all looks a little bit different. Based on our descriptions, as you imagine, your history with the course and discipline or not also factors into this. And then lastly, really what you already know about the course and what you've yet to find out. So some of you at this point have been in communication with your faculty members. Some maybe have just done introductions, and others have actually done some planning and have really kicked things off. It's going to vary. So again, your position within this framework is going to move over time, but these are the types of things that you should be considering over time.